Hello, lovers! Welcome to another Character Tuesday! Yes! So, guys, it is Tuesday, September 13th. Yes. And I am here with you, your chief labber, here to give you, of course, a great read on Character Tuesday. Now, last week, we did some more narrative techniques. This week, we're going to be taking a break. After all, it's well deserved. I know that we came off summer break, but even during summer, we were going strong. So this week, for me, I want to ensure that we can explore something different, something new. However, it's still going to be something in the lines of what we do, which is character development, character building, creating those excellent and awesome pieces. So this week, we will be exploring, drumroll please, how to take your fiction piece to the next level. Now, I know this sounds a bit, complicated, but it really isn't. It's very simple. I don't like to overcomplicate things, and there's some simple steps that as writers, aspiring writers, and professionals, we tend to observe. So let's get started. So the first thing is, and first off, I'm going to give you 3 big tips, and I'm going to give you a pro tip. That's 4 tips this week. But that pro tip is something I've observed in the industry, film, television, book industry. I've just noticed it, and I know that that's a trick that really works because you keep your readers activated, you keep them engaged, and more than anything else, you maintain your readership, viewership, listenership, whatever it is. So let's go. The first thing that I want you guys to try in how to take your fiction to the next level is a fresh outlook. Now, what does a fresh outlook refer to? For me, this is something I call my eyes on break period. So whether it's my physical eyes or my mental eye, I tend to find once you're writing a piece that is like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 words, a huge volume piece, it can get really monotonous, and it can get really, I won't say hard, but it can get complex. For some persons, they thrive in sitting, and typing about the same thing or writing about the same thing on end. For me, that doesn't work so well. So I tend to take my eyes on break from what I'm doing, for want of a better word. So for me, this eyes on break period includes me just first off taking a break from the actual manuscript. So I close down the laptop screen. I literally just download, and I try to watch, read, and engage in conversations that are outside of what I'm writing about, to give myself a kind of break from it. And then the next tool you can try is to get someone else to read your work. Now, this one is kind of tricky because, getting a person to go through your personal work as a writer, it's near and dear because this is work that's not even published. So then there may be copyright issues in terms of persons taking your work, taking your idea, you not being able to prove it, So for me, when my mom was alive, she was my compass. She was my go-to. So it's usually somebody who you trust, or it's usually someone who may be involved in that project. You could probably ask them, hey, take a look at what we have so far to see if, there's anything you would change, anything you'd add. And that gives you an external fresh look. Awesome. So then the next thing that I would try, so the next tip is adding layers. So for me, I like to call this the onion approach. And onions have many layers, like 1 to 6 layers. So for me, what I like to do when it comes down to layering, as we have been discussing all this time with character building, I like to build realistic characters. Characters that not just start off with the wishy-washy kind of, oh, they look like this, they sound like that. But I like to go in depth, describe my characters, build personalities for my characters, and so on. So for me, it's more about not just building a character, but connecting that character with emotions, connecting them with thoughts. So when you're building your character, you're building a complete character. So then in doing this, you are creating multiple layers of personality and multiple layers to your character that you're able to draw on in any instance to create different scenarios leading up to your main storyline. So along the entire storyline, you're able to show different facets of your character, and that creates great layering, and it gives you the opportunity to tell the story with different elements to it, not just keep everything monotonous and boring. Oh, it's about romance, for example, and you go on and on about love and love and love. No, take us to hate, Take us to different issues surrounding teen pregnancy. Take us to piercings. Take us to a whole different world that encapsulates love. All right, and then the third tip, yes, number 3, is let's keep it relevant. That's a big overarching theme of the third point. Keep it relevant. So keep scenes in your piece that are critical to your storyline as well as to your character development. And this is meaningfully, of course, because if you have different scenes that don't relate to your storyline or character development, you may risk being chatty, and then that will lose your reader's attention and will take away that engagement piece, and that's what you do not want. So be sure when you're going through like your second, after you're finished writing everything, I like to do like 3 or 4 edits. It's hard sometimes, but it's good to do, because that way you can cut out some of the scenes and some of the ad-libs that really don't belong and that make that story more than it should be unnecessarily. Because you want to keep your readers engaged. You want to keep them at that point where they're reading the content, but they're connecting, and the content is taking them somewhere that relates to your storyline as well as your character development. There's one phrase I wanted to ensure I didn't miss, and it was that if you include all these other scenes, then what you can end up with is story lag, which is a story just going on and on and on, and it's not really taking you anywhere, and it's slowing down the pace at which your storyline develops. That's something you don't want. So stay away from ad-libs and from excessive content that breaks your narration. Okay? Then it's time for the pro tip of the day. So our pro tip for the day is, and as I said, it's something I've noticed in written work as well as television, radio, etc. Now, the big pro tip for today is that I want you to develop characters and storylines that you can easily connect with other works. So interconnectivity is important. So if you notice, some series will have characters that move from one season in one series to another season in another series, and it's connected via, for example, business. So a business deal with a character from a previous series by the same writer and director in another series is connected through a business deal or a business arrangement. So you're like, oh, but that's so and so from that. Yes, that works, my labbers. It does. And what it does, it shows your readers, it shows your viewers, it shows your listeners that when they engage with your content, written, audio, and whatever wise, that content is always sure to create some connection, and it's almost keeping you engaged to see who is going to appear when. So there's always that element of surprise, and I find that really gets the suspense going, and it really makes for a great story, and it gives us the opportunity as the audience to connect with each character on a different level. So my labbers, thank you so much for tuning in to Character Tuesdays, and have yourself a great rest of your Character Tuesday. And remember, everything is always well done when you do it with a little love and passion. So guys, go forth, write, try your best, try your hand, and you'll be successful. Have a great day, labbers. Mwah. Bye for now.